In the early 1950s, when the Wisconsin State Legislature decided to ban racing on public roads, the small town of Elkhart Lake did not want to give up its young racing tradition. So in September of 1955, what had been a farm on the outskirts of this tourist community opened as Road America, and legendary Phil Hill won in a Ferrari. Now, some 50 years later, international sports cars are set to once again be unleashed on this glorious 4-mile circuit.
Well, Greg, it was here 1 year ago that J.J. Lato and Marco Werner clinched the Drivers' Championship, and what a difference a year makes. Following the crash at Poland, they're now in fourth in points, chasing their teammates Bieler and Pruett, who lead. Now, just outside those guys is Weaver and Leitzinger. They sit on the pole here today for the third year in a row, but reliability issues, well, think about this. James Weaver hasn't completed one competitive lap here in his last 3 visits.
Looking for the green flag to get round 7 underway, and it flies. We are underway. Weaver moved over, got a little jump, moved right over, and that opens the door up for the number 20 car, and a little bump.
One of the Audis off the track in the straightaway, and they closed, the number 1 car just closed the door on 2. They came together at the last race, and there's some animosity between those 2 guys.
Well, it certainly seems to be continuing here. Weaver leads down into 3. Here comes Werner. No! Gets the door slammed on him by Dyson. And so now it is J.J. Lato actually on board that car. He tucks back into the 3rd spot as they head down now this long, long run between turns 3 and 5. Very fast.
This is great racing right down through the trees here. It's one of the most focal places on this racetrack. A lot of crowd right there goes to see that breaking zone.
Lato did a little juke there to show him. Oh, and he got a great run out of 5. Don't see that very often. A mistake possibly by Dyson, and Lato trying the outside through 6. Here we go.
I'm thinking a gearbox selector problem. They've been having that on the Dyson cars. That car didn't come off of turn 5 well. I think it missed a gear. Watch the 2 wide eyes. The second one trying to get a go up the inside here. And you're going to see the number 1 car move him into the dirt in the straightaway. Right, he's alongside already. Now watch this. Just runs him completely off the road right there. And these guys made contact at the last race in Portland, and they were told by the powers to be at Audi, knock it off. You're not going to be knocking your cars all around.
Oh, and look at this, the 10 car you talked about. They're perhaps finding some speed, and they bump with the number 5 Corvette as they head down there.
No question about it. The Celine just took off the left corner just about, coming out of turn 8 there.
And you'll note that the Celine got around the number 3 Vet. That is exactly what the Vets did not want to see happen, was the report. They needed to run 1-2 for a few laps and try and gap the Celine. It didn't happen. We hop on board now with that Velocity yellow Corvette.
Watch the car in front, the 63 Semco Celine with the bigger restrictor. It's going to have big straightaway speed, no question about it. We'll see how much it can actually pull. Pulls about 2 or 3 car lengths right there, but this isn't the longest straightaway.
And we look at GT. This is GT2. And look at the number 45, Johannes von Overbeck. As Brian Till said, the Flying Lizards may be flying again. It would appear so. They have gone very quickly to the lead in this category, running 13th overall. Then you see that white and red with the lightning strike looking paint scheme. That is Jörg Bergmeister in the 2nd place car.
Jörg is magic here at Road America. No question about it. They put him in that car for qualifying. And boy, did he step up to the plate.
And the car that we're trying to spot here is the number 23 Job entry of Timo Bernhard, the pole sitter, and he has dropped well back in the category to 5th. And as a matter of fact, Bill Oberlin in the Panos has jumped up into 3rd in class, hounding the 31 right now. There is Bernhard, and he is back behind the 2nd of the Flying Lizard entries, the number 44 entry of Lonnie Pechnek. The Mazda entry has pulled off at the exit of turn 14 to the right side of the track. That car had been struggling. We'd listened to it a lot of times, not running very cleanly, it sounded like, throughout the weekend, Dorsey.
These guys really been struggling.
Try to lead over, reset the master, and try to refire it.
Oh, we got fire on the back of one of our prototypes. That's the
Intersport, number 37 of Liz Halliday, Dorsey.
And that is quite roasty toasty at the back right now. She needs to be getting out of there.
Wow, well, with the Mazda retiring, the problems for the number 10 Miracle entry, this car was a very comfortable lead. But, yeah, I don't think she realized how bad it was. Now she understands it, and she's out.
Now, she's going along at 90 or 100 miles an hour right there. Back into the car, fully engulfed in flames. So it's got to be an oil leak or a fuel leak.
Weaver is in as the leader, and he comes in. Looks like it's going to be fuel only. I don't see the guy set up for any tire change here. Here we hear it. Weaver gets it fired up. He's away, stalls it again. Right behind him, the 20 car. Chris Dyson is gone. And he beats Weaver, as does one of the Audis.
Actually, Cal, both of the Audis, as Leto was able to sneak out as well, so a huge turn. Weaver in the pit stop process, first to fourth.
Chris Dyson in the lead. Dyson car will break early. Let James scoot around the outside. There it goes, right there. And the Audis go side by side in one.
Well, they have just been on each other from the get-go, haven't they?
There's a little bad blood between the two cars, I'll tell you. And they've been both talked to about roughing each other up.
Well, they're certainly seemingly ignoring those orders and racing very, very hard. Meanwhile, once again, the 63 able to jump by Ron Fellows. So Johnny Mollem, every opportunity he's got, he is taking huge opportunity with and splits the vets once again. Oh, and number 16, Weaver, ducks down underneath. Oh, contact as Pirro got crossed up and just sort of slapped the back of Weaver's Tetford Norco Lola. Let's take a look at what's evolving in GT1. And here you see Mollem up front. There's Gavin in front of Mollem in the Celine on board with Fellows. Here's how the pass happened.
Judge that just right. Perfectly judge that. Restart. Whew. A lot of speed there, but that was, I think that was just...
Oh, look at that. Counter move by Gavin, Doors.
Yeah, and he's lucky he doesn't have square tires after that one.
Going back to it, and your leader in the GT2 is the number 31 of York Bergmeister with a clear windshield. He's loving life.
He loves this racetrack, too.
Yeah, that's true.
York really can put the pedal to the metal around Road America.
Greg, the other thing that Peterson White Lightning team has this weekend is the new ECU, a new engine control unit back there, controlling all the electronics. And it does a couple of things. One, it gives them better gas mileage. Two, the drivers love it because it helps the no-lift shift. It shifts quicker, it shifts easier. And the other thing it does, it's got a very advanced traction control system on it. It actually measures the longitudinal G's, lateral G's, and then compares it to how the suspension is moving up and down. They call that a 3-axis traction control system.
Big trouble on the backside of the track. That, folks, second overall, James Weaver.
Watch JJ. Gets around the Porsche at the entrance to the carousel cleanly. Now, Weaver has nothing to do but try an outside pass. He goes around the outside. The car moves a little bit over, gets him offline. Now watch this. He's got to stay on the throttle to get through gravel trap, which he's doing okay until this. Boom.
Well, the leader makes his way in. It's now J.J. Leto, of course, with Weaver having an off here, and I think there's going to be a driver change. Yes, it's going to be Marco Werner jumping in. So it's the 2 squad going up against the 1. Remember, this 2 team is new to this form of racing, coming from Speed World Challenge last year. This number 1 team has performed flawlessly all season long. Meanwhile, further down pit lane, the Dyson team is in with a 20 car. Werner underway, beats the 2 car out. The 20 car's doing a driver change too. It's going to be Andy Wallace jumping from there, taking over from Chris Dyson, and he's underway.
Welcome back to Road America, everybody, and no, your eyes are not deceiving you one bit. Right now, the number 3 CompuWare Corvette in the hands of Ron Fellows is your overall race leader. Now, that's because some teams are pitted, and they're the ones right behind the pace car, and he is yet to pit, as has Mollem right behind him. Green flag flies, and bringing us up is Ron Fellows with Mollem right there. Mollem again getting a strong run on the onboard. Watch from it. Not close enough this time. Mollem is just going to follow him down into turn 1. You see that bright yellow C5 vet sitting there in 3rd. Watch Wallace. This is the move. Yep, there's Wallace. Boy, way to the inside in turn 5. And at the last moment, Biela said, well, he's got me, and moved over to let Wallace through. But that's right down to the inside there. Back at Road America, you're looking at the overall lead battle. Marco Werner, the champion ADT Audi, and he is right in front of Andy Wallace in the Tetford Norco Lola. This might be Wallace's best opportunity. He actually popped to the outside as Werner got held up just a little bit. The outside, Fury is quicker. Wallace now moves over, trying to protect, and makes the pass where Werner had to give it up, and Wallace comes through. Boy, talk about timing and talk about jumping on opportunity.
Andy Wallace set that up on the last corner coming out of the long front straightaway, saying that the Audi was going to be blocked by the Porsche. He backed off the throttle, gave himself a little room, and got a run going, and just made it happen out of turn 1.
Well, Greg, with the adjustments, the Celine was really able to stretch his leg and show it power. And Johnny Mollem, awesome restarts by you on the Corvettes, but it's been sitting here in pit lane for a while. What's up, bud?
About 10 laps ago, before it happened, I began to have a problem downshifting, which meant I couldn't really hang on to Ron as well as I wanted to there, and I couldn't keep Ollie from catching me too quickly. And then I began to get a problem where I literally could not downshift on one shift. I had to try 4 or 5 times to get one shift. And that meant I had to back up all my braking areas, and then eventually the whole lever just felt like it broke loose at the bottom, and it was just floating backwards and forwards, and I was stuck in 5th gear, and I just came in, and I'm so upset for all the guys. They worked so hard, and we were doing so well.
With 53 minutes left in this race, Andy Wallace, the leader, has made the call. The team have laid the cards on the table. They've brought him in, no tires, fuel only. He'll be good to go to the finish. The question now will be, how quickly will the Audis respond? I think there was more fuel in the tank there. They just wanted to get it done. Remember, if we get a full caution that closes the pits, which certainly plays into the strategy here today. Well, pit stops continue. The lead car in the LMP1 category in the overall leader, Marco Werner, brings it in. So they made the call. Once Dyson had pitted, that really opened it up for the Audi. The Audi felt that they were going to be about 2 or 3 laps shy. Actually, one of the mechanics went to the front of the car there. I'm not sure if that'll be a penalty. He went to clean the grill whilst the fueling was going in, so we'll have to see if that's a problem there. Well, the 2 cars waiting for fuel only, Frank Wheeler, and you know this team is not going to make the same mistake that the 1 car made. So Frank Wheeler has jumped out in front of JJ later. We'll have to see how he stacks up with Andy Wallace. He beats Wallace out. Wallace goes down the front straightaway. Wheeler takes the lead.
Well,
that's
what a
huge.
stop. Well, and going a lap or 2 longer allowed them to put in a little less fuel, perhaps. That's it.
Now the question is, can he get that? There goes Andy Wallace right there. The 3rd car in the picture is Andy Wallace. Can he get the Audi's tires up to pressure and temperature quickly enough before he's pounced on by Andy Wallace?
Here is the car. Now the controls handled by Olivier Beretta, and a great call in the pits, as Calvin mentioned.
Yeah, they didn't take on the tires that the other car did. As a result, they took on the sister 3 car. Now, that being said, Olivier Beretta is going to be on a really long stint on these tires. Watch his lap time, see if he starts falling off to the 3.
Well, you mentioned it, and right now Beretta's last lap at 2:04. O'Connell's at 2:02. GT2 at this stage. That is now the 31 of Bergmeister, has handed off after that long stint now and turned it over to Patrick Long, and Patrick Long finds himself 3rd in class now. Fogarty is 2nd, and Dumas is out in front in the number 23 Hyatt entry. But I'll tell you, the guy who put on 1, a great show in qualifying, and 2, an amazing show in the race.
I mean, you guys are on a little bit of a different pit strategy right now. I know the 2 guys in front of you have to stop. Kind of a roll of the dice?
Yeah, so I just to do that under green as well. We had to come in under green. I still had some fuel in the car, but was just 45 minutes left, and Patrick needs to do at least 45 minutes to get points, so that's why we had to come in.
Double yellows fly once again here at Road America, 3rd full course caution of the event. And the reason is you see bits and pieces of bodywork on the track, and there you see Ryan DL has climbed out of the number 5 Menards Yokohama Corvette after we were just talking about singing his praises and the like. Just a cut tire, and there certainly has been enough on and off on this track that could do some damage. And unfortunately, the tires come apart and taking some bodywork with it. Right? Watch this, Doris.
Again, this is a 4-mile racetrack, and this is down in turn 5, or headed down toward turn 5. The carcass of the tire is beating the bodywork to death.
Oh, the 63, the Asemco Celine problems. Report is maybe a lost wheel. Is that done by pit out?
Look at the top of your frame, all the way at the top.
There it is.
There goes the tire and wheel.
A lot developing, certainly in the GT ranks. We've been watching that battle between the 2 Corvettes. That margin is gone, and that's now on the upside for Beretta. Maybe cool out those well-used tires a little bit, see what happens there. In GT2, all kinds of things are in flux. The 23 has gone into the pits under this caution. We think the 45 of Fogarty is going to be leading, but they may need to stop, and that would mean the 31 now in the hands of Patrick Long might be the winner of the sweepstakes.
It's a big shake-up at GT2. All those guys playing their strategy.
I checked in with the guys at 45 Flying Lizard, and they said, look, if we come in, we're going to finish 3rd. We're going to lose that position on the track. We're going to stay out. We're going to stretch it as long as we can. It's going to be close. If it gets to the reserve, we can run a lap and a half on reserve. We won't let them run out on the racetrack, but right now we're going to gamble. They're going to go for that 50% luck.
Green's out, and Wallace goes. Werner goes. Nice job by those lap cars. They just moved right out of the way and let these guys go.
Everybody's for position now. All these guys trying to get by one another.
And you can see there's the number 45 trying to give itself a little room, get by one of the Panos, squeezes in. Boy, that was very close. And here comes Long with the Panos, trying to get back by the number 45, forces the 45 out wide. Long is through, new leader, GT2.
That's what I was talking about. It had to happen. You know it was going to happen down there. The Corvette boys are right behind that. Now watch again. It's going to happen in turn 8 the same exact way. When they go through this right-hand kink, it's positioning, and then it's going to be the brake zone.
Oh, Beretta gets through some traffic. That's going to help him out. Now O'Connell has got to get by. It's the 45, second in GT2. White flag, last lap. Bila, it's 2.5 seconds now. So Bila just, he threw in a 155 flat to Wallace's 155.9. Bila digging deep when he needed it.
It's the GT1 battle. It's a great one. I don't know if Johnny Oaken's got enough or not. I think he does. But boy, I'm telling you, Olivier Beretta not giving him any place to go.
Meanwhile, here we go. Frank Bila, the number 2 champion ADT Audi, going for win number 3 in a row. And Werner taking a run at Wallace. Bila up the hill. And he has done it. Bila and Pirro win once again.
Fantastic job, Frankie. Fantastic.
Here comes Jeff Bucknam, who's going to win P2, the Miracle Motorsports Slime Kumo entry. And boy, sweet moment for them after all the problems they have had this season in some of the races after starting off strong. And his first win since Lime Rock for them, and here we go. O'Connell taking the run. Got out of the turn quicker, but too little, too late perhaps. Up the hill, Olivier Beretta. What a gut check drive for Olivier. And here's the look at this, Dorsey. It couldn't be closer. Dumas has driven brilliantly. 31 coming up the hill. Dumas there. 3 of the 4 classes unbelievably close. And Patrick Long just going to hang on. The Alex Job momentum has been nicked.
You don't think he's happy, do you?
Hey, Frankie, what a day. Great performance, and you really had to get the hammer down there after the final restart.
Yeah, I was afraid because in the first 2 restarts, once in Manuela and once me, I think we lost a little bit. And Graham told me, my engineer told me, keep this shit thing warm, the tires, and I tried. And it was good enough. I'm very, very happy. The car was perfect.
In the celebration, I haven't seen one like that for a long time. You're not pumped, are you, Patrick?
Oh man, I thought Lime Rock Pole was exciting. This was so down to the wire. I mean, Dale White just did the best strategy I could have imagined. We were worried. He's a gambler. He's from Vegas like this team, but it paid off. It's great to beat the job, guys.
Talk about the race today. How did it go once the 37 dropped out?
Well, it was a crazy race. I mean, we got punted right at the beginning of the race, and it's been odd this year because we've led at the beginning of the races all year long, and we end up not bringing home the bacon, and today we end up with a slow start, and we end up winning, so go figure.
Olivier, it just didn't look like you had the car there at the end. How'd you manage to keep Johnny behind you those last couple of laps?
Well, no, the car was good. I didn't want to take any risk, to overdrive and crash or spin. I was just controlling my speed. I knew that if I was closing the door an half, it was not possible for him to pass. So I just take care and waiting my last lap to bring back the car. I didn't want to do any mistake. The car was great, the Michelin tires, the engine, everyone at Corvette Racing did a wonderful job.